This is it for the July readings. The quote I'm sure you've heard before, or the thought for the day. You've heard this before. I know it's from Eleanor Roosevelt. No one can make you feel inferior without your consent. No one can make you feel inferior without your consent. Pretty good advice. So this is what Reverend John Waterhouse has got to, Reverend Dr. John Waterhouse has got to offer us for today. He's called it The Wisdom of the Ages is Within. The wisdom of the ages is within. First quote is from Rumi, who says, I love this one. It's probably well known. I love it though. It's a great quote. Yesterday I was clever, so I wanted to change the world. Today I'm wise, so I'm changing myself. Pretty good, huh? Change begins with each one of us. An early psalm says, I cleanse the windows of my mind, that it may become a mirror reflecting inspiration from the Most High. I do this not with strenuous effort, but through quiet contemplation, through gently reaching and affirming an inward recognition. Creative Mind and Success, Ernest Holmes. And this is Reverend John, who says, we access such extraordinary wisdom and self-awareness when we quiet our minds, clear away distractions, and reflect on the magnificence of our spiritual nature. We achieve this maximum result with minimum effort. When we realize who we are and all that we are able to achieve on this physical plane, our worries fall away and our sense of self expands. We're never forced to do anything, always being at choice, which is a wonderful thing to understand. We'll come back to this. When we choose the direction in our lives and the result does not achieve all that we imagined, we can simply choose something else. That may seem overstated, but when we relax into our choices, we remain centered and confident about where we are going in our lives. As the famous Irish playwright Oscar Wilde said, life is too important to be taken seriously. That's a pretty good quote. The wisdom of the ages is already within us. When we approach life calmly, we remember who we are and we move with quiet assurance that all is well. Now, he says we're never forced to do anything. Well, we're never forced to agree to anything. We have freedom of thought. And I would say sometimes people are forced into situations that they don't want. It's justified, I think. But what you cannot be forced to do is to change your mind about something. You can never be forced to do that. And since you can't be forced to change your mind about something, even when you're in undesirable situations, by focusing on what it is that you do want, then there's an extremely high likelihood that you will get what you do want. And for a prisoner, that could be freedom. You just never know. What else does he say? He says here, I love this one from Oscar Wilde, life is too important to be taken seriously. That is a pretty good quote. That one of the Rumi, one are some of my favorite quotes. So I think I'm going to end the month with the Rumi quote because I think it just sums everything up. When you adopt that, you can't change anybody else. You can't blame anybody else for anything, right? Even people who've done stuff that's wrong. You really don't know what's in their mind that caused them to do that. You know, I read a lot of stuff. Well, I wouldn't say read a lot. I read things, hear things, see things on television, hear them on the radio about people who've done horrible things, especially abuse. But you will often find, if you dig into it, that that person who's abusing others was in turn themselves abused. And I don't think we pay enough attention in our judicial systems worldwide to what is the difference between what I would say criminal behavior and mental illness. You see a lot of people are getting blamed because they're mentally ill and they need help. So instead of punishing them and just ignoring it, we often, in our criminal justice system, and even that word in itself bothers me, when we start practicing law, recognizing that there are such things as mental illness that cause people to do things which are really undesirable, then I think humanity will have turned another corner. I think that's where I want to end this. Yesterday I was so clever, so I wanted to change the world. Today, I'm wise, and I'm changing myself. Just take a deep breath and just let it go. And with me, just thank July for all the good stuff that went on in July. And with me, look forward to good things happening in August 2026. And as my wife is always saying, thank you very much. I have no complaint whatsoever. When anything goes wrong, she will say, thank you very much. I have no complaint whatsoever. And it's amazing how that changes the way that you look at the situation and you look at life. Oh yes, he did give us kind of a double affirmation. I move through life with divine ease and grace. I move through life with divine ease and grace. All is wonderful. All is wonderful. And the thing is about affirmations, you really have to say them until you believe them. You do not have to believe them to begin with, but you do have to say them until you believe them. You have to repeat them until you believe them. Till next time, my wonderful colleague, Reverend Lisa Ryan, will be reading something completely different tomorrow morning at 9:15, and I'll be back hopefully 5 p.m. tomorrow evening. And until then, namaste.